Hello, my friend. Okay, so distance healing. This is your second healing. June 6th, 2018. And first I want to tell you, people like you who get what I'm saying without getting triggered, like you know, and I'm able to talk to you and tell you to a different level than I can really talk to most people. You guys, people like you, like really push me ahead, and and I realize like my fears of speaking, the only thing that can be afraid of speaking is my own ego. So it's very cool. Okay, so I gave you a throat chakra exercise, 5th chakra exercise, and so the court system, your experience with court, or the thought of court. So if you learn what your soul, if you learn the lesson before you even enter the classroom, then your soul's like, yeah, you passed, keep going, next classroom. So you don't actually have to go to court if you learn the lesson, because you're forced to speak for yourself, stand up for yourself. And something with your dad, so with your mom, they didn't really force you to speak the truth, speak up for yourself, because they were, your dad was running an agenda, which is fine, it's not a judgment, but his focus was on his own stuff. And then he was trying to create an easiness about your life. We're going to talk about that in a second. But your mom also, she was getting through, just getting through. And this is okay, and that's okay. And we talked about a lack of integrity a little bit there. And there's no judgment there either. That's just how her being, so her soul, ego, and body, her mind, body, you know, her ego, mind, physical body, was choosing to live this existence as her. So there's no judgment there. But you were not required, like there wasn't your mom and dad staring into your eyes and saying, tell me what you feel, be truthful with me, like tell me what your heart. There wasn't that intensity. You never were forced to do that. So here's your 5th chakra is taking its turn. This lesson: speak for yourself, stand up for yourself. Your parents didn't ever force you to. Be honest and truthful about your truth. So it's coming around to you now. It feels uncomfortable because you haven't really been forced to do that. So it's very cool, and you're doing such a great job with your path here, I just have to say. Write an essay for yourself about the experience to get all that you can. Thank your soul for the, I think I told you that already. Oh yeah, my phone. Hold on one second, because then I can put it all in one place. Sorry, I can't pause this, so. All right. So then we can put it all in one spot. Okay, so having to go to court, speak, get shit in order, be a grown-up in a grown-up world. You said, yes, got it. And I wrote, you have homework after this to write an essay about the experience of court. It is not about your ex-wife or her mom, just about you and the experience of court. Fear brought it up. Hate, the fear that it brought up. The hate, the anger, everything brought up around having to go to court. You'll start the essay like this. Thank you, dear soul, for providing me the experience of going to court. It was a tremendous learning experience, since it brought up so many things for me to see and clear and grow from, etc. Okay, and then you told me about another body part that's in bad shape and infected. Oh, so I want to say, so I read this after I started, after the whole healing. you told me about another body part that's in bad shape and affected, and so then I saw, and then you were starting treatments on that today, and I was seeing you with a doctor. So there was at one point during the healing, I felt like I was healing you and the doctor, and seeing, I guess, the treatments. So I was watching the treatments and creating ease for the doctor and the healing and everything. Okay, and then we'll talk after you watch this. And then you had a red mandarin oil wanted to come up. I would really like for you to be able to get oils. YouTube there's a Zen Life Relax channel. There's a bunch of different healing frequencies that you should use on YouTube. Healing frequencies. Play them at night. You'll see there's so many. There's body healing frequencies. There's all the solfeggio, whatever tones. So you can play those for yourself all night, and that's going to help your body rebuild itself. Okay, YouTube healing frequencies. Inhale, rise. Okay, let go. Okay. So put on a YouTube healing frequencies, and then lay down, and then as you inhale, you're going to breathe in pure light. Stay in the big white spotlight of God, highest and holiest source, creator, energy, whatever you want to call that. And you're going to lay down, and as you inhale, you're going to breathe in all that light, and understand that that light is there for you. There's an abundance of it. You say the word abundance, people who've even never heard the word before have some idea of what it is just by the feeling of the word abundance. It just means more than enough. There's more than enough of this divine healing energy for all of us. So breathe in that pure white, beautiful, sparkly light. Breathe it in and let it heal and clear every single cell in your whole body down to the nucleus. Everything. Breathe it in. Let it swirl around and clean out all the dirt in all your cells, everything. And then exhale it out. Release what doesn't serve me. So you're going to do a few breaths like that. Keep bringing in that white light. Relax your eyes, jaw, and shoulders. Let it swirl up all the dirt and exhale it all out. Breathe in. Let it clean and clear your brain, everything. Decalcify your pineal gland if you've been drinking fluorinated water for some reason. It doesn't make any sense to me why anyone would do that, and exhale it all out. Okay? And then, so you want to do a 3 to 5 to 6 breaths, something like that. And then as you inhale, you're going to rise. Inhale, I rise. And exhaling, you don't rise anymore, but you release lower vibrational energy. And you can release it down to Mother Earth as manure to heal her, or, feed the plants and stuff. Inhale, rise. And as you exhale, you don't rise, you stop rising, but you release lower vibrational energies. Inhale, you rise. And exhale, release lower vibrational energy. And you want to just keep rising. See yourself going up, up like the trees, the levels, and then above the trees, and then up to the bottom of the clouds, and then you're in the clouds for a little while, and then you're above the clouds. And at some point, you're going to stop. And then when you stop, you're just going to stay there, and you're going to call on all the angels, Archangel Michael, and all worker angels. Please heal me in my highest best interest. Please remove all that doesn't serve me. Whatever you want. Just ask for whatever you want. Just ask. Ask. The thing about free will. So free will is very cool. We don't have to follow anybody else's choices for us. We don't have to be trapped in fate. We have multiple. The soul's attached to the lesson, not the classroom. So if you learn the lesson, you move on, you move on, you move on. So like for me, when I had an issue, physical issue, I wasn't learning along the way, and I ended up with a physical issue. It's just my body wasn't trying to screw me over. It was just giving me information. Look, this. And by learning the lesson and by making the changes, I was able to clear the condition. But if I hadn't learned to the point where I had, if I needed more, I could have actually had to have surgery. It's like, when do you want to learn a lesson? What do you want to, it's the experience. It's like, I didn't need surgery. Turned out I reversed the condition. But if I hadn't made changes to my life, I was headed for surgery. You know what I mean? Okay. You know what I mean. All right. Let go of all disease in your body, all the cancer, all the infection, all the inflammation. So it's not just the disease. You need to release the disease, but you also need to release any infections. So this came up before you told me. But then you need to release all the inflammation. So the inflammation starts, and then the disease is able to get a good foothold and grow. And it's not meant to hurt you. It's not meant to kill you. It's just information. So treat it as just information. Okay, thank you for the information. But then when to back out of it, to get back to perfect health, you've had inflammation for a long time. You had inflammation for a long time before you ever got disease. So you have to let go of the disease, let go of the infection, and let go of all the inflammation. Let go of that as a way to hide. So you did that, the inflammation as a way to hide from grown-up life and court. And I understand, you're an artist, and artists just want to create. And you don't want to have responsibilities. You don't want to have all this stuff to do. You just want to create. You just want to be an artist. But the thing is, you can be a grown-up minimalist and still have that artist life, but then you're in charge and you're the one. You're not at the mercy of anyone or anything or any condition or any situation. And you can turn your life, your grown-up life, you just reduce your responsibilities, and you can achieve what you want as a grown-up in a grown-up world. Like, I'm technically a grown-up. I'm 47, but I've found a way to operate as a grown-up in a grown-up world, but not really. I have a friend who, I have a very close friend who lets me be myself. And she's like a best friend and a mom. She knows my heart. And so, she doesn't, I could be with her in a way that I can't be with any of my other friends. Like, I have a lot of other friends. But with this woman, I can completely crash. She's not going to take anything personally. She loves me. I love her. So you end up saying, okay, I'll be a grown-up in a grown-up world, but I need this. I need this. Okay, so it's time. As a little kid, if you're sick, you don't have to be responsible, and so it becomes a habit. But you need to get rid of the sickness, agree to be a grown-up in a grown-up world, but then do it your own way so that you can still be the artist that you are. Okay. And you want to hide from your grown-up life in court. So the disease you got to acknowledge, I guess, how it has served you. It's created. And I'm spending way too much time. Sorry, geez. I'm still on the first page. I just feel like this is kind of an important thing for you to grasp, is that all your sickness, inflammation, disease, all that, the way it has served you is by giving you an excuse not to be a grown-up in a grown-up world. Okay, we could talk about that. Hopefully you understand. Okay. And you didn't want the grown-up responsibilities. And then our mutual friend who gave my name to you, her husband can help you see the easiest way out of all your money issues. So I don't know if that's a possibility for you. It is. I know that it is, but I don't know if you know that it is or if that's uncomfortable or awkward. But that person could help you see the easiest way out of all your money issues. Like, he's like a genius as far as looking at your situation, and you just put it all out there. Like, this is what I have, but this is where I want to be. And then he's just like a genius with money and, I guess, responsibilities. So he can look at it all and say, well, it's simple. You need to do this, this, and this. And that's it. And those action steps that he gives you may be difficult, you know, but necessary. And he's going to be right. Okay, also the bad guy, which is not him, but there's this other person, the bad guy. And I think you know what I mean by the bad guy. The dark guy, the bad guy, sets up our friends, relatives, let's say, to love you more. Okay, what we are hitting now is resistance to being a grown-up life with responsibilities. You would have chosen a much simpler existence than what you're forced to deal with now. With divorce, your dad's stuff, etc. But this is a quote, play the hand we're dealt so that we grow, capital letters grow. We play the hand we're dealt so that we grow. That's the fun of this game of life. You can do this, but you have to pull up your big boy pants, handle the shit, and then, using the shit as the contrast, create the simplicity your soul clearly guides you to create. Don't fight against the jokers in your hand. It's all just contrast to make your bliss creations that much sweeter. So, and then the words they said, ease and sensibility. Big capital letters underlined. Ease and sensibility. So in your mind, you're planting this, and you want to say this all the time to yourself, program this in, and then 68 seconds at a time, you feel what it feels like. So when you say, my life is easy and sensible. Deanie, can you come out through the dog door? Deanie, come on. My life is easy and sensible. Your peace and your power reside in that statement. My life is easy and sensible. And then you say that, my life is easy and sensible. And then you feel in your body for 68 seconds what it feels like for that to be true when that's true. Come on. Distraction, inaction. Okay, my life is easy and sensible. My life is easy and sensible. And then just sit and feel what that feels like when you tell yourself, my life is easy and sensible. What does that feel like? My life is easy and sensible. Just feel in every single cell in your whole entire body that ease and sensibility, how that feels. So your peace and power reside in that statement. And then sent a reminder, quote, they said, you are so loved. And I know you feel this. I know you feel it from heaven. I know you feel it from heaven once in a while, that you are so loved. And I know you have these glimpses, you have this feeling that this disease, there's a way out, and you're going to be able to like move out of this situation. And so remember that. They're just telling you, you are so loved. And then I burped. So there's these things. Okay. And I don't remember writing this, so I write it while I'm doing what I'm doing, and then I don't really remember. So poor Jonathan's stories, saddled with all this responsibility he didn't want. Your dad rolls his eyes. These poor me stories, saddled with all this responsibility that he didn't want, that I didn't want. Oh, poor me. I didn't want any of this. Oh, I didn't want this. So your dad rolled his eyes. His human self was like, so when he was in human form, when he was alive, human, he was thinking as he was creating, manifesting, and creating all this stuff. This is great. All I'm creating for my son. Like he gave you big material gifts. You see these gifts as burdens. Isn't that hilarious? This life is a game. It's funny. It's fun. It's ironic. It's all a soul growth opportunity. That's all it is. It's just a soul growth opportunity here. Isn't it funny? The life you would have created, simplicity, the ease, and you could just create all day, and you could just, make enough to keep going and keep doing your art, It's like now you're saddled with all this stuff and you're saddled with all this stuff. It's like, and it's just like, this is all the shit is just contrast for the easy life you want. And it's just going to make that bliss so much more. But you have to take action steps. Be a grown-up in a grown-up world to clear out all the shit that you feel burdened by. But it's going to be easier if you see this as a game. If you see this as funny, fun, ironic. It's hilarious. It's really to your spirit. This is all hilarious. Like, this is so funny, isn't it? Isn't it so funny? Okay, your second chakra, creativity. You must create anything. It'll help you heal your power in relationships to fix the damage by the ex-wife stuff. So, okay. So hopefully you can join us on the Sunday healing meditation, because that's going to be about the God mind and holding yourself in the palm. Sweep, heal, clear, and ease. All right, so your second chakra, creativity. So it's also power and male in your loving relationships, your ex. So the damage done by the ex-wife relationship, can be healed by using creativity. So we don't care how you create. We don't care if you write songs. We don't care if you paint a picture or just draw on a napkin in a bar. It doesn't matter, but you have to create. You have to start creating. So the creativity will help heal the damage done by the ex relationship. Okay, and they said, focus on excitement, capital letters, excitement, all the time, all the time, all the time. So always asking yourself, what am I excited about? What am I excited about? And then I wrote, ew. Let go of your whole past and all images you have of yourself. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You might need to cut your hair. So let go of your whole past and all past images you've had of yourself. Because remember, what you've been leading up till now is someone who's progressively getting older, but still not wanting to truly be a grown-up in a grown-up world. And you just need to be a grown-up your own way. So I do feel like, and the haircut, it's not like cut like like a normal boy haircut. It's like you could do shaggy, but it's gotta have like long and shaggy, but still some kind of a style, but it can be shaggy. Okay. And then the neroli oil wanted to work with you for emotional healing. You cannot grow totally without emotional healing and complete letting go. So I was really grossed out by this energy of this emotional healing that you need. So I can only imagine what you're going through. So this is when I said, can you order oils or I send them? So you really need oils. The oils just help us so much faster, and the faster we can heal, the faster we can let go of all this emotional, the faster we can just take it out, and the more you're like, and then you start creating the new story of, I feel fine, oh my God, I feel so lighter, I feel so happier, I feel so joyful. And then through the law of attraction, you bring more of that to yourself, and it's faster. So it's not just cheaper to heal faster, and it's not just, that's better. No, it's like, the longer you take to heal something, the less you can use the law of attraction, or the more potential there is to use the law of attraction in a negative way. So like my dad, he hurt his hand isn't right, and so if he would just let me heal him, then he could be like, oh, my hand, it feels so much better. And then the law of attraction comes in and goes, my hand feels so much better, it feels so much better, and then it can create more of that, more of that, more of that. But instead he's like, see, I still can't do this, I still can't do this. Now the law of attraction takes him in the wrong direction, but he won't listen to me. Which is, for me to learn too, that I don't need him to listen to me. Okay. Do you remember the kids' toy? It was blue on one side and red, it was blue plastic on one side, red plastic on the other, and then it had these yellow handles that you could pull apart and dump out all the shapes. And the shapes were yellow shapes that only fit into one spot. Do you remember that? And then you could just put the shapes in the slots. So all the holes, all the shape holes, if you were that toy, all your shape holes still have shit left over. So the right pieces can't drop into the ball, into your life. So there's still crap blocking a little bit of each hole. So the triangle can't fit into the triangle. Nothing can fit into so the life that you desire, because the shit that's still blocking the holes, all of them, not like fully blocked, but a little bit. Even a little bit makes it so the shape can't drop in. So that's what, okay. So you have to be completely honest with yourself. Look in a mirror and say, what about you looks sad? What about you looks sad? Is it your face? Is it your hair? Is it your clothes? Is it your posture? Okay. We know you're hurting, but part of that is you hurting yourself so that you don't have to grow up and be a big boy. Your dad says he wanted to make your life easy. Honestly, he wanted to be so wealthy that he could raise you like a wealthy, spoiled brat to show off, like a George W. Bush, like George Bush Jr. Smirky, rich kid, show off, because you would have been an extension of his wealth, his way to show off. But his ego mind in life told him it was for you. So his ego lied to himself, like, I'm trying to create all this for you. I'm trying to do all this for you. But honestly, he's being honest now. In spirit, he's honest, saying he wanted to be so wealthy that he could raise you to be like a spoiled brat, like you were an extension of him. Like, we're so wealthy, my kid can act like that. And I don't have anything against George Bush Jr. So, but you get what I mean, where he's like this, like he's like a frat boy. And he's got that smirk, and he like knows that his daddy, that everything can be taken care of type thing. All right. He acknowledges from spirit that he didn't know or care what you really wanted, and his ego steamrolled your heart, telling the story that he knew better than you, for you. Like, you'll be happy, son, trust me. But he also says, that's the game. So in life, when he was in life, he was involved in this story in his mind that he knew better than you, for you. He'll be happy. He'll be happy when I give him all this stuff. He'll be happy. He'll be happy. Trust me. But then from spirit now he says, but that's the game. It's life. It's like a sorry, not sorry, but in a very lighthearted way. So he's just like, that's the game. He lived it his way, and he impacts you, and everybody has this. So everybody has a parent, and they do whatever they do, and you get to deal with whatever you get dealt. And he's like, that's the game. Like, don't take it so personally. Don't take it personally. That's what it's like. It's like, sorry, not sorry, but don't take it personally. This is all just the game. I was your dad this time around. You were my son this time around. Don't get wrapped up in the identity. It is what it is. This is the hand you're dealt. But it's like, you wouldn't switch that hand out for somebody else's hand. You just, make what you want out of it. This is what you get, and now make something out of it. So you get what you get, and then you go, well, where do I really want to be? Okay. He went through stuff from his caretakers too, which made him play the game the way he did. No excuses. I really like his soul a lot. I actually wrote this down. I like his soul a lot. It's very honest, and it just is. Hey, that's how that lifetime went. Next time, different choices. Still fun. Lovingly, like, get over it. I really like him. I wouldn't mind just doing a channeling session with you and your dad if you ever want to do that. It's $50, and I drink tea and let's talk. Because they teach us a lot. Like, when I just do a channeling session, I just talk for that, I just tell you everything that they're saying to me, and it's like, comes as fast as it comes, whatever. Okay, so then you have an irritation. just need to be aware of whatever the irritation is. And lavender oil would be good for that. Lavender oil is like the rose quartz of essential oils. But just be aware. What are you irritated about? Be honest with yourself. So irritation serves a very good purpose. Irritation serves the purpose of, like, making a kid irritated by his parents. He moves out and then he starts life on his own. Yeah. Or irritated by a job, and you take action steps towards creating a new one. Okay, and then this is where your doctor was in the healing at one point. I had forgotten to write that down. Lay down. Imagine the angels combing through your mind and your thoughts. So do this after you rise up to the, angel dimension. When you stop rising and you're laying down, imagine the angels combing through your mind and your thoughts. So just combing through, and clearing it. You know how, if you've ever had knots in your hair, and as you comb through, sometimes you break hairs off. Sometimes, they end up in the comb, whatever. It's like that. Comb through your thoughts. Let the thoughts. Some of them are going to go. Some of them are going to get in the comb, like when you comb through your hair and you get a knot. There's some hair that ends up in the brush or the comb. Just have the angels just lovingly comb through your thoughts. Yeah. Okay. And then they said, so your guide said, you got to get your thoughts right. So you've got some competing and conflicting thoughts going on, like you know what you want, but then you've got these other thoughts that suck. So you got to get your thoughts right, and then again, you just have to grow up. So this was the theme. So I'm 47, but I tell myself all the time that I'm 25, because when I was 25, I was able to be in the world and participate as a grown-up. I had 3 jobs and all that. And then my mom died when I was 30, and I had a really, really hard time dealing with that. And I just didn't even do my checkbook, and I just was like floating. Felt like I was drowning, but I wasn't drowning. I was just floating. So I did this thing where I pretended I was 80 years old. So I pretended that I was 30, pretending that I was 80, but then I got the opportunity to go back to when I was 30 and have a 30-year-old body, and but I had the wisdom of an 80-year-old, and so I had a 30-year-old, body, able to be strong, and I didn't have any body pain, and my mom had died now 50 years ago, instead of like a month or 2 months or whatever, whenever I did it. So this was a game I played with myself, and I was an 80-year-old and a 30-year-old. So then as I went around, and I would eat like chocolate cake for, breakfast, and then be like, why not? I'm 80. And I would I ate whatever I wanted. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just like, I'd stay up. There wasn't any pressure on myself, because I was like, I'm 80 anyway, and I get this opportunity to go back to being 30. Anyway, that was a fun game to play, but it also changed me in a way that, when you operate from a perspective of none of this matters, that doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, because that's what happens. If an 80-year-old could come back to a 30-year-old body, not have any pain and not have any drama, and just don't care. You don't mind, I guess. You just don't care, you don't mind. And then it changed my 30-year-old self. And then I started to see, wow, everybody my age is so intense. Everybody started to appear intense to me. Like, what is their problem? Just relax. Oh my God, they're making such a big deal out of everything. And it wasn't them that changed, it was me. Okay. And then I feel like you should let our mutual friend take you shopping for clothes. Hair still long but shaggy and cool, not like a metal band from 1980 or like a Kumbaya of 1960. But the way you dress and your hair needs to feel free, like perfectly free. Freedom. I mean, it needs to yell freedom, like free and easy, you know? So it's like, if you imagine yourself living, you know, I always say Airstream, but in an Airstream, like on top of a mountain, and you have a hammock there, and in your hammock you just write songs, and then you have plenty of money. You don't spend a lot, but you have plenty of money to live, and just be with your thoughts, and you know, meditate. I don't know if you meditate, but I assume you do probably. And you just like walk, and you just be, and so that really needs to be. It doesn't have to be that exact picture, but that kind of an existence. It should all feel free, like fucking free. Like I feel so fucking free from the inside out and the outside in. I feel so fucking free. I feel so fucking free. You know, 68 seconds. And then Pettigrain wanted to work with you. As it pertains to you, is a stop living in reaction to your family's decisions and choice. So right now you're trying to be you. Trying is not doing. Trying is expecting failure. Yoda says, do or do not. There is no try. My teachers always told me, trying is not doing. Do or do not. There is no try. And then keep your gaze up. You know, third eye to heaven. Third eye to heaven. And then they said, nothing can be lost that you really need. You can even probably write a song about that, because that is for everyone that ever listens to this. You know, you're probably the only one listening to this, but because I don't put tags on these videos, because I don't think, but you know, they might be listened to by someone that could get something on them. Nothing can be lost that you really need. Okay, and instead of trying to be you, you just want to be you. Okay, with your ex-mother-in-law, feels like you were her father before, like in a past life, and she was pissed at you. She blamed you for everything that went wrong in her entire life, then, and then in kind of in this life. It's an old pattern, really old energy. The energy was so old. Oh my God. As your dad, you may have made a mistake. Okay. As her dad, you may have made one mistake at a crucial point in her life, and then the law of attraction took over with the story, creating shit for herself over and over. And I do feel like she was a little girl. Creating shit for herself over and over, built up. That's why she acts like a little girl throwing a big tantrum. It's the same energy as it was then. But now it seems crazy because she's older than you. Like, but it's the same old energy of holy crap. She blames me for everything going wrong in her life, and she's just throwing this big motherfucking tantrum. It's the same energy there. So she still acts like a little girl throwing a big tantrum. So then I was representing you in like the fifth dimension court. And I said, can we wipe the ledger clear at this point? Okay, so here's what came out. So I said, I opened it up. Can we wipe the ledger clear at this point? Like, haven't these people suffered enough? Because she's suffering too, even though it may not appear that way. Because she's creating her own suffering, but she's still trapped in a mind pattern. Like my daughter was throwing this tantrum today. She picked out these clothes to wear today because she's gonna read her book in school today to everybody, and she picked out special clothes, tie dye and this heart bottom skirt thing, and she asked for help, and I put the clothes, you know, I held them with my knees, and she's like, you put my clothes in your crotch, and she wouldn't wear them. I can't wear them now. I'm like, I have clothes, you know, they were on my knees, whatever. So, you know, the way I teach my kids, like, how to get out of a tantrum is, you know, to turn a tantrum into a conversation, you talk about your feelings. And so I was trying to get her to talk about her feelings, and she wouldn't, and I said, okay, you're holding on to the belief that I put your clothes in my crotch, and as long as you hold that belief, then you're going to keep throwing a tantrum. So, you know, if you're not going to tell me how you feel, and you're not going to choose to change the belief that you're holding, you know, that I crotched up your clothes, you know, and they're gross now, even though I have clothes on, and it wasn't true. So your mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, is holding on to a belief, and she's got a belief that aligns with it, you know, goes along with it. from a past life. So it's strong. So as long as she holds this belief, because if she talks about her feelings, she'll get it out and she'll reconcile it and clear it, which she doesn't want to. She really likes whatever. So she keeps choosing to hold the belief, even though it's causing her pain. So just the point is, this is not just causing you pain. It's not just her causing you pain. She's also causing herself pain too. Both of you are suffering with her belief. Just like my daughter and I were both suffering. There was no peace this morning in my house. Both people are suffering with the belief held by one. So your ex-mother-in-law holds a belief. It turns into a belief system because it starts with one belief, and then gets added to it to make it stronger and stronger. And then she's suffering with that belief and belief system, and she's causing your suffering too. But anyway, so I wanted to wipe the ledger clean. This is nothing more than a tantrum, and you might need to call it out as that because you never called it out in the past life. So she's gray. She's like holding her breath to get her way. Okay, so then you need to do another essay, a letter. You write a letter to your ex-wife, but this is your letter you're not going to send. Okay, you don't send this letter. And here's how you start. Letter to your ex. I'm sorry for holding your mother's actions against. Okay, I'm sorry for holding your mother's actions against me, against you. Rationally, I know you have no control over her, but emotionally, it was hard for me to deal with the end of our marriage and her involvement to such a level. I didn't think it was fair that I had to deal with her hatred and anger toward me. It's part of being/getting divorced, not to have to deal with in-laws anymore. So you need to, because that's what, okay, so you are, so you and your ex is like parting ways, whatever, or, and maybe during the marriage also, you would hold your ex responsible for her mom's actions. And you didn't mean to, but, in the real world, that's what it felt like. It's like, oh my God, why are you letting your mother treat me like this? I don't know. Okay, and then here's more of the letter. We loved each other once enough to get married. That was between us. I didn't, and I don't understand why your mother was allowed to be so involved. But now I release you, your ex, into your new life with all the peace and love possible. And I will emotionally and energetically deal with whatever karma exists between your mother and I. I see that I no longer need to involve you with the question, why? Whatever exists is between your mother and me, and I now release you in peace, love, and prosperity. So letting your ex go, now dealing squarely and fairly with your ex-mother-in-law. Allow it to be what it is. Your ex-wife is not involved anymore. This is a separate relationship. Okay, so people hurt themselves often with the question why? 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 And they don't really mean to ask why. They, hold on. Sorry about this. It's a busy day today, but I want to get this to you. Okay. So people ask, why? Why is he? Why? So people really screw themselves over by asking questions that they really don't want to know the answer to, because you really don't want to know the answer. Why? So don't ask why. Okay. So you can ask your ex-mother-in-law in your head or out loud. You can even say this, like to her face. Did you want me all to yourself or something? Do you want me now? Why do you keep trying to keep me in your life no matter what? Because I divorced your daughter. Why do you keep trying to keep me in your life no matter what? What do you believe I owe you? As a person, I never married you. Oh yeah. What do you believe I owe you? As a person, I never married. Do you believe you have a soul? What does your soul tell you about this whacked out relationship with me? Why would you think I owe you anything? Does any of your behavior seem delusional to you? Any of it? Even the tiniest fraction of any of your observed behavior. I'm not even talking about what is in your mind. What are you clinging to? Okay, so I wrote all this down. And as I was writing it down, some of the energy cleared. So hopefully you could get in there. But you could actually say all of that to her. You can even write that to her in a way that's, you know, like, I don't know if you text or email or whatever, but you could write that all to her. Because somebody needs to stop this tantrum. And if it wasn't stopped in a past life, it's got to be stopped in this life. And so this is part of your big boy pants, to call out this tantrum. You can't, she's making it, her soul is making it so you can't just run away. You can't just, you know, so you need to face her, be a grown up in a grown up world, and call her out. Like, stop the tantrum. What do you think I owe you? Do you want me to yourself? Did you, you know, I got divorced. That means that you and I have no relationship, but of course energetically you do. Okay. So I had a life in prison. So I went through a life where I died in prison, actually. So your soul got a similar experience from court. She grew up finally to the age you were married, hugging and holding her. I love you, but I can't give you what you think you need from me. Have to give it to yourself. She doesn't want to grow up either. Okay, so we hate in others what we deny in ourselves. All right, your ex-mother-in-law doesn't want to grow up either. So you guys have that in common. She doesn't want to grow up either. Hate in others what we deny in ourselves. Okay. I vaguely am remembering what happened here. So I wrote that down, but as I wrote that down, I was basically saying it to her higher self, with your higher self present in the highest best interest of everyone. Okay, because her soul's ready for her to freaking stop throwing this tantrum, like break this dynamic. This dynamic doesn't serve anybody. So your higher self, her higher self, and then whoever I am when I do healings, all up there in the fifth dimension with the angels all assisting and helping, right? And so I said all that. And then what happened was, she was a little girl, right, energetically. And then she grew up to the age at which you were married to her daughter, okay? And then I had you, or we had you, or the energy, the highest best interest was, you went over and you were hugging and holding her, your ex-mother-in-law, hugging and holding her, saying, soul to soul, right? Soul to soul, saying, I love you, but I can't give you what you think you need from me. You have to give it to yourself. Okay? So that's how it ended. And we'll talk when you're ready. And I love you, and you're doing great. Thank you for working with me. Love you. Bye.